Hello everyone. How are you guys doing today? I am so tired. I had 2 classes before your class, and in each class, I had review. So I talked for so long. My mouth is so dry. And I'm coughing a lot because of that. I just don't want to talk to you in your class again. Can I just tell you what will be in the exam and you study on your own? Huh? So do you remember what's going to happen day after tomorrow? You forgot? Exam 1. Entire class time, 1 hour, 15 minutes. And you'll get around 15 questions, 10 to 15. There will be multiple choice question. There will be free response. For free response, you can get partial credit. For multiple choice or there are other questions, there will be no partial credit. So first, let me tell you what will be in the exam. Did you notice or did you take a look at the review sheet? Good job. And I also said on the top of that paper that most of them are from lecture notes. See, really, I have no voice today. Most of them are from our lecture videos. So if you want to see the solution, watch the recordings. Section 1.1 from question 1 to 3. I'll give you one. One of these from 1 to 3. And then, come on. For parallel line and perpendicular line, I'll ask one. Either parallel or perpendicular, one of them. This is the application of linear equation. So if I have space, I'm going to give you this. Not the same question, but similar question. If I have space, okay? Not guaranteed. Then 1.2. 1.2 talks about revenue, cost, profit, break even. So there will be one question about finding cost function, revenue function, break-even point, profit function, and then something like this one. How many units you need to sell to have a break-even point? And then one more question, depreciation. So something like question number 10. Depreciation question. Now the same scenario, but the different scenario, you're going to do the same step. Find y equals mx plus b, m has to be negative because depreciation. Then 1.3, I'm going to ask, I'm going to give a small data set like 3 values for x, y, x and y. And then you're going to find y equals ax plus b, the line of best fit. For example, here, find the equation of the least square line, means line of best fit, and then predict some amount based on the equation. And then I'll give you the correlation coefficient. You have to tell me, interpret the correlation coefficient. You don't have to find it, just interpret the correlation coefficient. I'll give you a number for correlation coefficient. You have to tell me, do you have strong correlation, weak correlation, or do you have any type of correlation? If you do, are they strong or weak? And what type of correlation, positive or negative? So the graph is given, and you have to find out what could be the R for this type of scenario. So 1 or 2, at least 1. Then we have difference quotient, 1 quotient from difference quotient. Either it could be something like A or B or C, 1 from here. And then composition, 2 quotient from composition. Find the composed function and then evaluate the composed function. For example, g of f of a number. Okay, so 1, you really have to find the function itself, and the other one, you have to find the function, the number will be given, you just have to evaluate the composition at that function. And then the weird scenario, 1 function and 1 graph. So either you'll be given the y value of the function, find the composite function, and then solve for x, or I'll give you 1 graph and 1 function, and you have to find this. So 1 scenario from these 2 scenarios. And the decomposition, I love decomposition. So at least 2. It could be more than 2, but definitely 2. Or if I don't have space, then 1. So my plan is to make the exam as short as possible so that I can grade easily. So my plan is to give you only 4 pages. So see if I can fit everything in 4 pages. If I cannot, then it has to be 6 pages. I hate grading 6 pages. 4 is fine. And then 1 domain question from all these scenarios. Definitely, I'm not going to give you any polynomial because it doesn't have any problem. So either from rational or radical, or radical on the denominator, or radical with a square inside, one of these scenario. Which one you prefer the most? I'm not going to listen, but I just want to know. Jillian, do you prefer that? So I'm taking a vote. Which one you prefer the most? Let me name them, okay? This is one type. This is second type. This is third type. Let me use this. This is fourth type, and this is fifth type. Which type you prefer the most? Second. Second? Actually, let me call the name and raise your hand. For one, how many votes is for one? 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 votes here. How many votes for question number 2? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wow. How many is for the third type? Only 1. How many is for the fourth type? Nobody. And the last type? 1. So we have 13 here. Okay. What if I combine the 2 and 5 together? What if I combine the 2 and 5 together? I'll give you both, because one of them will be in the final, and you can choose which one you want to do. Okay? But in the final exam, let me warn you, this will be in the final. Which one you dislike the most? I mean, no, you dislike the most this one. This will not be in the final. In the final, this will be. So again, you must know how to do this. Okay, so that's all will be in the exam. So let's see how many questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, makes sense. In the final exam, we have 30 questions to do in 2 hours. So since we have 1 hour, 15 minutes, so you're supposed to do at least 15 questions. And I'll give you at least 15 questions. Like 10 multiple choice. Something like that. More multiple choice with no partial credit, and you have few partial credit on non-multiple choice. And for the multiple choice, for few of them, I'll give you the multiple choice themselves, and for few, I'll not give you the choices. You have to tell me the choices or the correct answer. Okay? So it's a combination of everything. Any question? So now you have 2 choices. Work on your own, or you want me to go over any questions? What do you want to do? Jolene? Okay, so I'll give you 15, 20 minutes, work on your own, and then we'll have 25, 30, 35 minutes to do to go over the questions you don't understand or you need more help with. Okay? So until 3:05, try, all these questions are posted on Brightspace. So go to your Brightspace. You can use your phone, tablet, anything. Go to your Brightspace, pull them out, and then start doing them. Now you know what you're going to see in the exam. Stay 20 minutes, look at the hardest question first. If you cannot do it, I'll go over that and leave the easy question for later. You don't have to work alone. You can talk to your neighbors. You missed a lot, Johnny. Oh, I have your quizzes. I forgot to tell you that. Let me give you quizzes back. Alexandra, Siki, Dimitri, Claire, Claire, Zoe, William, one more. Asla, not now, later. Asla, Asla, Prince, Kylie, Jasmina, Ruby, Asir, Jawad, Rita, Rita, Dominica, Alice. The past quiz was bad for most of the people. So don't get depressed. I'm going to drop one or two quizzes. Ellen, Sion, oops, Sion, Jennifer, uh, Joey, Amar, Maxine, Jesse, Aiden, Mar, right? Amir says that. What? Johnny, Johnny. Is there any Rashauna here? Rashauna? Okay, now quiz number 2. Siki, Afiz, Erika, Alexandra, Jasmina, Ruby, Jolene, Zoe, Karim, Lucy, Renika, Jennifer, William, Nasir, Amir, Pedro, Timmy, Ronnie, Maxine, James, Tyone, Tyone, um, Styling. 1 second. Stone, where? On the middle.
So since I didn't circle anything, right? But the action's still there. Should I make it full credit?
You told me that size everything.
I didn't circle it.
You didn't circle anything. You
Yeah, the action still there. But I asked to make it.
also you have plus here, plus two.
But so our representation teacher, right? Is that I'm not the right answer on the paper, so we didn't circle anything else.
Tell him to give you the points. I cannot give you the point because you did not tell me it was the final answer. You did actually. What's the word? Never. You have right answer and wrong answer all together. And you expect me to give you the full credit for the right answer. Does it work your way? You have errors and you have good thing and bad thing. Do you only take the good things and you get rid of the bad thing in your life? Is it possible? It's a living error. But you have to indicate the good thing. All of these are from the so all of these are from the lecture. So we have the answer from no. One of them. Huh? Can you review for the planners? Look for the hardest one. You can continue for usually really comes
I thought it was like a hard place. I think I get out of one of the.
you do it.
I do.
Good, I'll say that. Go.
So sometimes it takes us a little.
Show me your exam. How does it pass? You can correct that. How do you? If it's decimal, it would be 1/2. 1/2 minus 1.
So like the line of best, like something 1/2 x, sometimes like the whole is like 0.936.
True, because in human theology is calculation. But in the exam, even maths, I think you something smaller to what. No, few will be few response or you get hypothetical, and then few will be multiple choice, and few will not be multiple choice, but there will be no hypothetical. Depreciation. Yeah, I'll give you all the first order numbers. Doable. Finance. Yeah. Value eight, all right. And how many usually quizzes? Anyone wanted to give our Oh, I'll do it later. Let me take that sentence. Time taking attendance. Dominica here. Salahuddin. Arsla. Maxine here. Zoe here. Claire. Claire. Jolene here. Prince here. Hayden here. Ellen here. Asir here. Kylie here. Alice here. Jasmina here. Alexandra here. Jennifer here. Jesse here. Johnny here. Afiz. Tarin here. Pedro here. Erika here. Jawad here. Ruby here. Saum absent. Dimitri here. Siki here. Amir here. William here. 1, 2, 3, 4 absents. Work 5 more minutes and then we'll do the questions together. Not everything, but a few. Aiden, you look sleepy. Are you sleepy? Little bit. You look very sleepy. Dimitri, I told you to do math, not texting. Okay. Come on, student together. Not every question, but few of them. On the left page, which question you want me to go over? 3. I'm going to go over one of them from 4 and 5, but on the left, from 1 to 3. Question 3? Okay. So there are a few ways of doing it. One is doing algebraically and one is doing graphically. In class, I showed you how to do it algebraically. Let me show you how to do it graphically. So you're going to graph your points. Your x-intercept is -4. So -1, -2, -3, -4 is here. And your y-intercept is 2. 1, 2. So we know equation of any line in slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. That means you just need to know what is m and what is b. What is b here? Y-intercept, so it's 2. Definitely we know it's 2. And now slope. Do you remember what is slope? What over what? Y over x, right? So from this point to go to that point, how many up you went? 2 up means +2. And then how many right you went? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 over 4. So y equals 2 over 4, x plus 2. But what is 2 over 4? 1/2. So y equals 1/2 x plus 2. That's all. If you use graphing method, you don't have to do math in algebraically. You simply find your slope by working 2 points. And if if y-intercept is not given, keep working until you get your y-intercept. It cannot be negative because the line is increasing. Even if you do point slope, you get the same result. So figure out your mistake. I told you the answer. You figure out your mistake. It has to be increasing line. So it is an increasing line. So slope cannot be -1, have it be +1. Now from 4 and 5, which one you want me to go over? Parallel or perpendicular? 4 parallel? Okay. So it says we are given a line. 4x plus 6y equals 24. Find its parallel line. That parallel line goes to the point 2, 1. So we know equation of any line is y minus y1 equals slope x minus x1, right? Y minus y1 slope x minus x1. This is the equation of any line, either parallel or perpendicular, anything. So in here, they gave us y1, x1. So let me write them down. What is the y1 in this equation? 1. And what is x1? 2. So we have y minus 1 and then x minus 2 inside. That means the only thing we need to know is m. How do you find the slope of the parallel line? We need the help of the given line. You need to know what's the slope of this line. Do you see the slope here directly? No. That means you have to do something to see the slope. There are 2 ways you can do it. Either solve for y, so that you get y equals mx plus b, m is the slope. Or remember, the slope is -a over b. If you can remember that, you don't have to do any math. Just get your a and b from there, and you get the answer. So What is the A in this line? In this line? 4. So we have negative A, it means negative 4 divided by B. What is B in this line? 6. And then reduce. Negative 2 over 3. So that will tell you what's the slope of the parallel line. What's the slope of the parallel line? Parallel lines have what type of slope? Same slope. And perpendicular lines have what type of slope? Negative reciprocal. So parallel line has same slope, negative 2/3. So you write negative 2/3. If we had perpendicular line, what would be the slope of the perpendicular line? Positive 3/2. So instead of negative this, you're going to write 3/2 here for perpendicular line. So this is our equation, but it needs to be polished into either standard form or slope intercept form. The direction will be given in the exam. So let's say they want you to write in standard form, means ax plus by equals c format. And in this format, you cannot have any negative x. So no negative x. And you cannot have any fraction. No fraction. In standard form, okay? And we have both problems here. We have fraction. So how can you get rid of the fraction? What can you do so there will be no fraction? Multiply by the denominator. So denominator is 3. You multiply both sides by 3. 3 cancel out. We get 3y minus 3. Negative 2x minus 2. So we solved the fraction problem. And now you have to distribute the other side. So 3y minus 3 equals negative 2x plus 4. And now we see the first problem. Our x is negative. So if you don't want x to be negative, what do you want? How can you solve this problem? Add the 2x to both sides. The negative will become positive. So let me get a page. We have 3y minus 3 equals negative 2x plus 4. You add the 2x to both sides. So you get 2x plus 3y or minus 3y? Which one? This 3y. Do you see any minus sign in the front? If you don't see any minus sign, that means you have a plus sign. Plus 3y minus 3 equals 4. But the standard form is ax plus by equals c. So what is our problem now? We don't want the 3, so we add 3. And now we are very satisfied with everything. 2x plus 3y equals 7. So in the exam, they will specify the final format. Here I forgot to specify. Question? So for perpendicular, you do the exact same thing. The only difference is this negative 2/3 will become positive 3f. So you're going to multiply both sides by 2 this time.
Has to be in that game.
This is standard form.
Yeah.
And you stop here. Once you reach the standard form, you stop. Alice. Huh? Where did I get that 3 from? Here. We have y minus y1, which is y minus 1. But then we have a denominator 3, so you have to multiply both sides by 3. So 3 cancel out on the right side, but you have to distribute the 3 on the left side. So 3y minus 1 times 3. Any other question? Okay, the next one, real life application, I'm going to give you if I have a space on the exam. It says, if you drive 600 miles, you need $375. So miles and dollar. If you drive 600 miles, you need 375. And if you drive 700 miles, you need $400. Now they are asking how much money you need if you buy 613 miles. Okay. So they gave you 2 points. One of them is X, one of them is Y. It's up to you which one you want to make what. Okay. It doesn't matter. Let's say since this is missing, suppose this is Y, and let's say this is my X. Okay. So if I do that, I can easily substitute X in 613, and then we can solve for Y. But you can do other way around, no problem. So we need to know the slope. Step 1, find slope. What's the slope formula? Y2 minus Y1 divided by X2 minus X1. So since my miles is the X, so that will go on the denominator. And since my money is the Y, so money will go on the numerator. So what minus what on the top? 400 minus 375 divided by, you wrote 400 first, so 400 has 700, so you need to write 700 first. 700 minus 600. So we know 700 minus 600 is easy, 100. How about 400 minus 375? 25. And now 25 goes to 100 how many times? 4 times. So its slope is 1/4. So you find your equation. Equation of any line is y minus y1 slope x minus x1. Now this time they actually gave you the x value. Our x value is this one, 613. And which one of these is x1? Let's say this one is x1. So x1 is 600. And which one is our y1? 375. And do you know what is m? 1/4. Oh man. A slope is 1/4. So what do we have? Y minus 375 times 1/4, equals 1/4 and a 613 minus 600. So we have all the information. We're just looking for Y. When X is 613, how much is the Y? So we have Y minus 375. Pamda says do what first? What is P? Parentheses. So how much you get from the parentheses? 13. Oh man, then we have 1/4 of 13. So Y minus 375. Did I make a mistake anywhere? Or you do get a decimal?
Yeah.
You get a decimal? And then we need to just add 375. So add 375. Why is that? I feel like the answer is a whole number. 75 minus this is 25. 7 minus 6 is 1. So you have 1/4. And then 13, 6, 13, right? No, I didn't make a mistake. Oh, man. Okay. So in the exam, I'm going to give you something easier to work with. But for now, you need to have the same denominator. So it's 13 plus 4 times 375 over 4. Whatever that is, that's the answer. Okay. In the exam, I'm going to give you something easier to work with. If I give you this question. Instead of 13, you got it 16. Well, let's do it 16. Yeah. Let's say this is 616 miles we are looking for. Okay. 616. So what is 1/4 of 16? I'm changing the number so that we can do the math easily. 1/4 of 16 is 4. So you have y equals 4 plus 375. What is 4 plus 375? 379. So see how easy it is? Yeah. So I'm going to give you something that you can work with. Let me change the number here in case I forget later. But come on. Make it to 16. Perfect. Straight. Any question? Okay, now function, cost, revenue, break-even, profit, all of this. So we have overhead cost $540 and cost per item is $3. What's wrong with my pen? We are finding cost function. Cost. So C of X. What's the cost function for this scenario? Cost per item is $3 and you have overhead cost 540. 3x plus 540. Perfect. Now revenue. Excellent. Revenue. You are selling each item with $9. 9x. That means you can find profit here. What is profit? P of X. Big P of X. Profit is what? Revenue minus cost. So what do you get? 9x minus 3x minus 540. When you subtract more than one element, all the sign will change. So we have 6x minus 540. That means you know your break-even points. How do you calculate break-even? There are two ways we can do break-even. Method 1. Actually, let me do it on the lower side. Method 1. How do you find break-even? Go ahead, Dimitri, no problem. Revenue equals cost. That's one method. And then who can tell me the second method? Good job. Profit equals 0. So depending on what information you have, Either you use method 1 or you use method 2. This time you already have a profit function. So if you want to use profit function, all you have to do is, oh man, my computer is done. Give me 1 second. Why is time so quickly? Come on. What I was saying? Profit. So since we are given the profit function, it can do 6x minus 540 equals 0, solve for x. Or if you want to use revenue and cost, you have to write 9x equals 3x plus 540. You have two ways to solve for x. It doesn't matter which way you solve for x. What is your x? Which one is easier to work with? The left or the right? Left? Okay. Left, right, the both are same. You get 6x equals 540. So it's 540 over 6, which is 90. So if you buy and sell 90 items, you neither gain any profit nor lose any money. So that's how profit function works. The last thing says you want to have a profit of $1,500. Not the revenue $1,500, the profit. You want $1,500. So how do we figure out how many items you need to sell? Jolene. 6x minus 540 equals 1,500. And now solve for x. So you're going to add 540 and then divided by 6. Whatever you have, you can do the math. Okay. The next one, it says, suppose we have $5 to producible and we are selling it for $11. Daily overhead cost is $1,200, which is a lot, man. It should be monthly. How many balls you need to, how many balls per day must be sold to break even? So here you're working with break even. That means you need which two functions? Revenue and cost. So what is your revenue function in this scenario, Pedro? Revenue. 11x. And cost? 5x plus 1,200. And now you know how to solve for x, right? You subtract 5x divided by whatever you have. So the hardest part is figuring out your setting. Once you know your setting, you know what to do. The depreciation. In depreciation, we have the same formula. Y equals mx plus b. But this time we definitely know our m will be negative because it's depreciating. It's going down over time. So to find the slope, it's the final versus minus initial divided by time, right? It's over time. Or divided by initial, I forgot. Divided by time, I think. Tell me the answer. Is it divided by time or divided by initial? Time. Okay. So we have taxi driver. He bought $15,000 car, but after 8 years, the value went down to $10,000. Oh man, he lost for $40,000 in 8 years. So he lost $40,000. 40. So in 8 years. And since he lost, so it's minus. So how much money he lost per year? 5,000. Since he lost, that's why it's the minus. His final amount was 50. Sorry, his initial amount was 50, final was 10, and he spent 8 hours. So negative 40,000 in 8 hours. So per year, he lost 5,000. And now we want to know if this situation represents straight line depreciation, then how much he lost after 4 years. So y equals mx negative m x plus b. B is what? What is B? The initial amount, right? B is the y interest. That means why you started your money, your buying thingy. So 50,000. And now after 4 years, so we have y equals negative 5,000. X is 4. And we're subtracting all these results from 50,000. So how much money, how much is the cost of your car after 4 years? 30,000. So you have a total amount. From the total amount, each year you're losing $5,000. So after 4 years, you're losing 5,000 times 4. So you're losing 20,000 from your 50,000. And I'll give you one of these. Now for the next one, I don't have time to go over the details example, but I'm going to tell you how to create a table. So first thing you have to memorize this. And in this formula, you see, you need to know x, y. You need to know the sum of x. You need to know sum of y. And also you need to know sum of x squared. So there are a few things you need to figure out before you apply the formula. So you create a table, x and y given. And you need to know xy, so multiply xy. And then you need to know what is x squared. So you take your x squared. And then at the end, you add all of them, the sum. Sum for this, 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 this. And then you replace everything here. What is n? How do you know what is n? N represent what? The number of x. Number of x or number of y. In other words, number of xy pair. Okay. So if I give you only 3 of them, your n will be 3. For the first one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So our n is 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. N is 5 here. So depending on how many data set you are given to you, that's your n. So you find this and then you replace it to a. I mean to b. So you take the sum of y and you multiply in sum of x. You take the difference and then divide it by n. If you forgot how to do it, go to the lecture video on 1.3. I did everything in details during my class. Now for this type of question, I'm going to give at least one. So you just have to figure out your R. Do you remember what is R? Correlation coefficient. And it has few characteristics. Correlation coefficient runs only from which number to which number? -1 to +1. And if you're closer to -1, what does that mean? Strong or weak? Strong. But what type of strong? Positive or negative? Negative. So you have a negative strong relationship. If you're closer to +1, what does that mean? strong, positive. And then you have in the middle 0. If you're closer to 0, weak. If it's in the negative side, it's negative weak. If it's in the positive side, it's positive weak. And then if you have a bunch of number closer, it's strong. If you have a little bit far, it's weak. Okay, difference quotient. What's the formula for difference quotient? Join. The formula, what's the formula? F of something. Dimitri? F of x plus h minus f of x over h. Perfect. This is difference quotient. That means for each question, you need to replace x with x plus h. Simplify. You need to subtract the original function from whatever you get, and then divide it by it. This one is saying the same thing, but instead of x, your x is 2. So you're finding what is f of 2 plus h, and also what is f of 2. Subtract f of 2 from your 2 plus h, and then you divide it by 8. But this time they're not telling you to divide by 8. So you just leave the h alone. Composition. For example, here, you have f is 2x plus 4, and your g is 4x squared plus x. If you're putting f inside g, so g of f of x, no, g inside f, the other way around. F inside, f inside g. F inside g. So if you want to put f inside g, so you take your f function, and what do? Put it inside the x. So this will be 4x squared plus x, but instead of x, you're going to write 2x plus 4. So you're putting f inside the g function. This is the f. So every x you see in g turns into f. And then if this is simplify, you simplify. Otherwise, leave it alone. And if it says, let's say you're doing a different question, it says find f of g of 1. So this time you have to find your composite function. You can simply find your g of 1, replace that inside your f. So g of x is 4x squared plus x. Your g of 1 is 4 plus 1, 5. So this thing becomes f of 5. Because this is what you have. So you go to f function. 2x plus 4. And then what is f of 5? 2 times 5 plus 4. So 14. So if they don't ask you to find composite function, don't waste your time finding composite function. Just work with the numbers and your life will be easier. In the next one, it's same thing, but instead of giving you the function, they give you one function, one graph. So here it says, find g of f of 3. G of f of 3 means you go to the f function, find what is f of 3. So 1, 2, 3, when x is 3 or y is 1, 2, 3, 4. F of 3 is 4. That means you need to know what is g of 4. For g, we have a function to work with. G of x is 2x minus 3. Then what is G of 4? 2 times 4 minus 3, which is 8 minus 3, 5, not 7. Right? 2 times 4 is 8, 8 minus 3, 5. And if they tell it the other way around, it's same thing. This one, they're saying the result of the composite function is 13. Then find the x values. So first you have to find what is the composite function. Put it on the left side, and the right side is your number 13. Bring everything to one side, solve for x. We did it during the lectures. If you forgot, just watch the recording on section 1.4. Decomposition, my favorite. I'm going to give a few decomposition. They're telling you all of these are f of g. Means g is inside f. So the first one is easy to see. The g function. What is inside? Which function is inside here? You can say this is your inside function. Remember, the inner function is easy to see. So if this is your inner function, then what is your outer function? 1 over x. How about the next one? Which one is your g function? X to the 6 minus 9. Then in that case, what would be your outer function? Cube root of x. The last one. What is your g function? 17x squared minus 12. Then what would be your outer function? 5x to the 5. See? Decomposition is very easy. I love them. And lastly, the last question. So I'm going to give both the last one and this one. Let me do the last one, because if you know how to do the last one, this one is easy. So we have f of x equals x squared minus 16. Actually, let me do the first one. 3x minus x squared under the square root. Now, what is the condition for any even root function? It cannot be negative. So function has to be bigger than or equal 0. And since you have a square inside your square root, so I'm not going to use the symbol. I'm just going to write it out. So 3x minus x squared can be 0 or it can be positive. I'm writing it out because I have a square inside. For square, we need to use the number line. So we need to know where this function becomes x. So solve for x, we need to bring out x as a common factor. And we get 3 minus x. So x equals 0 gives us y0. And x equals what? Not negative 3. So it's 3 minus x equals 0. That gives us 3 equals x. So there are two numbers that makes y0. One of them is x equals 0 and the other one is x equals 3. So you put them on the number line. We have 0 and we have 3. We have positive infinity and negative infinity. So these two makes our function 0, which is allowed. Now we want to know which of these interval makes it positive. So if you look at the two factors we have, each factor has what degree? What's the power? 1. Invisible 1 here, invisible 1 here. That means they have odd power. Do you remember what happens when you have odd powers? Do you need to find each interval? You can find only one interval and the sign will alternate. So you can find the left or the right or the middle, it doesn't matter. Let me pick the middle. Pick a number in the middle, any number from 0 to 3. 2. And then see 2 makes that inside positive or negative. We had 3 times 2 minus 2 square. What is 3 times 2? 6 minus 4. What's the result? 2, which is positive. So the middle interval makes the inside positive. That means what do you have on the left and on the right? Negative. We don't want negative. So answer is exactly in the middle. So from 0 to 3, including them, because they make 0, which is allowed. So I want to every question you will see in the exam. So study smart. Good luck with the exam. Don't be late. On Thursday, you'll have rain all day. So try to be early in case rain delays you. Study smart. Have a good day. Yeah, after 1 hour. Bye, everyone. Bye. Save.